Police Order 2009. Senior police officers who were found providing bandobast despite event being unauthorized, indicating collusion with organizers. RCB's posts on social media at 7:01 a.m. and 8 a.m. that led to massive crowd gathering without entry protocols. No gate-wise entry guidance that was given even as the crowd surged, leading to chaos. Stadium design unsuitable for mass gathering. Gates were opened directly onto public footpaths. There were a lack of holding areas for crowd that forced people to queue up on the roads, causing traffic and security risks. Organizers made reckless announcements that triggered the stampede that was caused due to all these factors that led to 11 deaths and many who were injured due to gross negligence and absence of security management. Organizers failed to ensure basic safety and must be held accountable, is what the report states. Let me cut across to Sagai Raj with further details of what the probe entails so far, Sagai Raj, because as we understand prima facie, multiple factors that led to the stampede. So it was not one aspect of the security, but how the police arranged it, what the organizers did, what the RCB did, all of which led to this tragedy.
Absolutely. The important point of Michael D. Kunna, the report that we just accessed exclusively, one of the main points which shows that insufficient bandobast. Only 79 out of 515 police personnel were posted at the gates, grossly inadequate. 79 police personnel to take care of more than 3 lakh fans who were present outside Chinnaswamy Stadium. This is what Michael D. Kunna report says, that 79 people to manage the crowd. And this is what has happened after that. 11 people were killed in the stampede. And out of 79 people, probably majority of them, because I was an eyewitness to that, I was outside the stadium, majority of them, probably around 30 to 40 police personnel were in the main gate, which is the main gate, VIP gate, where all the celebrities, all your players, all your politicians visit from that particular gate. So almost all those police personnel out of 79, see, 79 is a very less number to take care of 3 lakh crowd which was gathered outside the stadium. And out of 79 police personnel, most of them were in the VIP gate to take care of the VIP entries and inside the stadium. This clearly shows that there is a failure of police department which should supposed to take care of the security bandobast, had deployed only 79. And where were the rest? Rest were here at Vidhan Sabha, where I am standing right now. Most of the senior officers, from police commissioner to all the DCPs, all IPS officers were here. Why they were here? Because you have everybody in the city, like cabinet minister, celebrities, governor, chief minister, deputy chief minister, everybody were present here in Vidhan Sabha, including their family members, to get a glimpse of RCB players. Even if you notice that there were politicians who brought their family members to show their favorite players, Virat Kohli and others, in Vidhan Sabha. And all the senior officers from your Bengaluru commissioner, Bengaluru DCP, other DCP except North DCP, which I've seen him near stadium, almost everybody were here at Vidhan Sabha taking care of a VIP bandobast. But very few people, 79 people were near Chinnaswamy Stadium. Out of 79, probably 75% were at VIP gate, and rest of them managing the 3 lakh crowd which was in and around the Chinnaswamy Stadium. That's what Michael D. Kunna report clearly, categorically highlighted in this particular report. And apart from that, it also says that there were misleading announcement, last minute and conflicting message about entry gate caused mass confusion, poor crowd management, no gate-wise crowd direction even after congestion. Crowd gathered based on RCB social media post at 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. People started to gather as early as 7 a.m. in front of Chinnaswamy Stadium after the post of RCB got viral. this clearly shows that...
Raj, but this once again raises the question that the Karnataka government is absolved of the responsibility. Siddaramaiah has directly blamed Virat Kohli for putting out that video. How and who pins the Karnataka government responsible amid all of this, amid all of these factors that have been stated? For the moment, we leave it at that. I want to thank you for getting us the latest. Moving on, the shocking gang war in Patna hospital that has sent ripples across Bihar, where the shooters were caught on CCTV entering the ward. They were armed and then they fled after committing that murder. The police called it a season of murders. India Today getting you this report. Armed gangsters enter a ward, murder a patient and escape. No, this is not a scene from gangs of Wasipur, but the horrifying reality of Bihar in 2025. Captured on camera, the killers pulling out their guns, opening the door to the cabin, unloading their weapons and fleeing seconds later. They killed gangster Chandan Mishra, a hardened criminal with multiple murder charges who was out on parole on medical grounds. But the police response has triggered even more outrage. Bihar's top cop claimed that this is the season for murders and crimes.
अप्रैल मई जून जब तक बरसात नहीं होती है ये सिलसिला जारी रहता है क्योंकि ज़्यादातर किसान को कोई काम नहीं रहता है। एक इस वर्ष चुनाव भी है तो राजनीतिक दलों के द्वारा भी इस पर ज़्यादा नज़रिया दिया गया है।
Union Minister Jitan Ram Majhi, instead of questioning law enforcement, blamed the hospital for lax security.
हॉस्पिटल कोई सरकारी संस्था नहीं है, वो निजी संस्था है। वहाँ का क्या प्रतिबंध उन लोगों का रहा है उन लोगों को सोचना चाहिए। अब घुस करके मारा है तो किसी साधु को नहीं मारा है, आपस में गैंग वार का मामला है, वो लोग तो कहीं भी कुछ कर ले सकते हैं। और अब तो नीतीश कुमार जी ने एक नया आयाम शुरू कर दिया है कि जो ऐसे कल्प्रिट होते हैं उनको ठोक दिया जाता है, उनको काउंटर कर दिया जाता है।
For the opposition, the incident is proof of the Jungle Raj under CM Nitish Kumar.
लॉ एंड ऑर्डर का क्रिमिनल डिसऑर्डर हो चुका है। अब ये बात एडीजी खुद ही कह रहे हैं। अगर ये कौन सा बहाना है भाई कि मॉनसून में बारिश में अपराध बढ़ जाता? ये तो पहली बार हम लोग सुन रहे हैं। यानी पुलिस नाकाम है, लाचार है। ये बयान तो ये दिखाता है क्योंकि मुख्यमंत्री का इकबाल खत्म हो गया, गृह मंत्रालय उनके पास है, दोनों डिप्टी सीएम बेकार हैं।
कोई दिन ऐसा नहीं जा रहा है जब बीभत्स हत्याकांड न हो रहे हो। अब पारस हॉस्पिटल प्राइवेट हॉस्पिटल है, बड़ा हॉस्पिटल है, वहां सिक्योरिटी गार्ड्स होंगे, पर अपराधियों के हौसले कितने बुलंद है कि वहां सिर्फ हत्या नहीं हो रही, गैंग वार हो रहा है। तो क्या बिहार हिंदुस्तान में हिंदुस्तान का कानून नहीं चलता? वहां कोई जंगल राज के लिए अलग से कानून नीतीश जी और भाजपा ने मिलकर बनाया है।
With Bihar now fully in poll season, this incident is a grim reminder of how crime-infested the state remains, a formidable test for the incoming government. With Rohit Singh, Bureau Report, India Today. And we now get to another bizarre remark over the Bihar gang war, where this has come from none other than JDU leader and Union Minister Lalan Singh, who has spoken on the Bihar video saying that if two people are sitting and they kill each other, then how is that a crime? That is a mutual dispute. Incidents happen, incidents can happen anywhere, but we arrest people. Listen into that statement.
अभी हम और ये बैठे हुए हैं, हम इनको मार देंगे, ये हमको मार देंगे, ये क्राइम है। तो आपसी विवाद है और आपसी विवाद के लिए घटनाएं होती हैं, हो सकती है कहीं भी दुनिया में किसी भी देश में होती है, लेकिन यहाँ कार्रवाई तुरंत होती है, गिरफ्तार होते हैं, घटना करने वाले लोग गिरफ्तार होते हैं।
Cutting across to my colleague Rohit Singh, who joins us on the broadcast. Rohit, it's shocking to the kind of remark that is coming from the union minister, who's so plainly normalizing the crime, calling it a mutual dispute. I mean, what can one expect to come out of the investigation if this is how those in power and the cops respond?
Well, yes, absolutely a bizarre kind of a comment that has been made by Lalan Singh, the union minister in the Modi government, where he says that if two people are sitting and if they kill each other, then it's not a crime. But this is what Lalan Singh is maintaining, an absolutely bizarre comment that has been made, especially at a time when there are several incidents of murders that have taken place in Bihar in the last fortnight. More than almost 24 murders have taken place. Just today morning we saw that how one of our dreaded gangster who was out on payroll, Chandan Mishra, he was gunned down inside a private hospital in Patna. But despite that, if the union minister thinks that it's not a crime, and if two people are sitting and if they kill each other, it's not a crime, then God knows what crime is, because at this point of time, the law and order situation in Bihar is absolutely at its, we can say, at its all-time low. Several incidents of murders have taken place in the last one fortnight, and the police at this point of time seems to be really failing in stopping crime, holding criminals, and this is what is going on. Sushashan, which was the USP of Nitish Kumar, also seems to be nowhere right now. So the question is, it's an election year. So if all this is happening, then who is responsible for it? Where is the police? Where is the administration? And how these criminals have become so emboldened that they are literally going inside a hospital and killing someone, a patient who is undergoing treatment. He may be a dreaded gangster. But these incidents clearly shows that the law and order situation in Bihar is really worsening day by day. Back to you.
But when this is the kind of messaging that goes in from our mantris who are in power, then what is one possibly to expect? I request you to stay on with us as we move on to more news from Bihar. Yes, ahead of the upcoming Bihar polls, CM Nitish Kumar, who has announced free electricity for up to 125 units for all households from August 1. He further added that within the next 3 years, with the consent of these households, solar power systems will also be installed either on their rooftops or at nearby public places to provide further benefits. This comes just days after Nitish government announced 35% quota for women in government jobs. The move is being seen as aimed at strengthening the chief minister's appeal among women voters who, like in previous polls in other states, are expected to play a critical role in the November elections.
वास्तविकता क्या है कि वहाँ बिजली लोगों को मिल ही नहीं रही। बिजली के हालात बेइंतहा खराब है। जब कभी बीच में जरूरत पड़ी, बिजली का हाहाकार रहा। और अब देखिए, पता नहीं अचेतन अवस्था में या चेतन अवस्था में नीतीश कुमार जी 125 यूनिट बिजली फ्री देने की बात कर रहे हैं। चुनाव के पहले जितने भी वादे नीतीश जी ने किए थे पहले भी, वो भी पूरे तो हुए नहीं। तो एक और झूठा वादा जनता के बीच में उन्होंने फेंक दिया है।
अगले 3 साल में सारे घरों पे सोलर लग जाएगा और 1,67,00,000 परिवार को, और आप जानते हैं आजकल तो बिजली 22-24 घंटे रहती है, बिजली की कोई दिक्कत है नहीं कहीं पर। वो ऐतिहासिक फैसला है। 1,67,00,000 मतलब आप सोच लीजिए, लगभग बिहार के सारे परिवार टच हो गए। आज जो उससे बचे हुए हैं उनको भी 125 यूनिट का फायदा होगा।
ये बिहार के गरीबों के लिए आज प्रधानमंत्री जी का जैसे 80% लोगों को मुफ्त अनाज की व्यवस्था, अब बिजली मुफ्त, और एक कंडीशन है कि अगले 3 साल में सबसे सहमति ली जाएगी कि 10,000 मेगावाट का सौर ऊर्जा लगाने का, जिससे हमारा पर्यावरण का संरक्षण भी होगा, बिजली भी बचेगी। ये भी एक नए ढंग से प्रधानमंत्री और मुख्यमंत्री का अभियान चलेगा।
मास्टर स्ट्रोक नहीं की, किसी और मास्टर से आप लिया गया ये स्ट्रोक है। तो जब आप तेजस्वी जी की पेंशन बढ़ोतरी को आधा अधूरा, पूरा तो नहीं ले पाए, बिजली भी जो निःशुल्क करने की उनकी 200 यूनिट की उनकी कमिटमेंट थी, उसमें से 125 किया। तो जब आइडियाज़ ले रहे हो ना, तो आइडियाज़ का स्वामित्व जिसके पास है, कह दो कि वही चीफ मिनिस्टर है। तेजस्वी ही चीफ मिनिस्टर मटेरियल है, हम स्वीकार करते हैं, क्योंकि उनके द्वारा ड्रॉ की हुई लकीरों को आप फॉलो कर रहे हैं प्रतिदिन।
And let's now sum up for you the string of announcements and the SOPs that have been declared by Nitish Kumar for the people in Bihar, where it is an attempt to literally appease one and all. So you've heard of the latest 125 units of free electricity that have been announced by Nitish Kumar, which of course applies to all. They've even gone on to say that for poor families in Bihar, the government will bear the cost of free installation of solar power plants because that will help them save electricity. Also for women, we all understand how they've announced 35% reservation in government jobs for women, which of course will play a huge role given the fact that the women vote bank is a sizable population. Also for the youth, Nitish Kumar has gone on to announce 1 crore employment opportunities and also the setting up of Skills University, which they have promised will hugely aid the youth to be able to get jobs in the future. Meanwhile, we cut across to more breaking news coming in. The opposition is up in arms. Bihar LOP Tejashwi Yadav, who's mounted this big attack on Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. He said that earlier Nitish had opposed free power. Now he said that Nitish Kumar is a copycat and he's aping them. Tejashwi Yadav has also added that Nitish government has no roadmap or vision. You also heard responses coming in from the Congress saying that these are nothing but false promises that Nitish Kumar is making ahead of the polls. And this is another big reaction coming in from none other than Tejashwi Yadav, who said that Nitish himself was the man who had earlier opposed these sort of freebies, but now he's copying our model, and Nitish Kumar actually has no vision for the people of Bihar.
यही नीतीश कुमार जी बयान देते थे कि मुफ्त में बिजली नहीं देना चाहिए। तेजस्वी बोला 200 यूनिट फ्री में बिजली देगा, तो आज नकलची सरकार ने नकल की। इनके पास अपना रोड मैप और विजन तो है नहीं, कुछ उपलब्धि है नहीं। यही नीतीश कुमार जी बयान देते थे कि मुफ्त में बिजली नहीं देना चाहिए। तेजस्वी बोला 200 यूनिट फ्री में बिजली देगा, तो आज नकलची सरकार ने नकल की। इनके पास अपना रोड मैप और विजन तो है नहीं, कुछ उपलब्धि है नहीं।
I want to go back to my colleague Rohit, who continues to be with us on the broadcast. Rohit, whether these promises will convert to votes is something only time will tell. But Nitish Kumar there, leaving no stone unturned, is sensing stiff competition. On the other hand, the opposition says it straight up that these are false promises that Nitish is making. Not too sure if Rohit can still hear us, and we'll try and reconnect with him in a few minutes from now. But there you see how politics is escalating over the freebies that have been announced by Nitish Kumar. In fact, I took you through the string of announcements that were made literally for one and all. But the opposition says these are false promises, and Nitish Kumar has no vision for the people of Bihar. Rohit, I want to come back to you if you can hear me. How do you look at this?
Well, see, on one hand, we are seeing that the law and order situation has worsened in Bihar in the last 15-20 days. But on the other hand, we are seeing a series of announcements being made by Nitish Kumar as far as people of state is concerned, welfare schemes are concerned, and developmental work is concerned. Because remember, today when he has announced 125 unit free electricity, obviously it's going to provide some sort of a relief to almost 1 crore and 67 lakh families in Bihar. So that could be a potential vote bank of for the NDA. So that's very important. On the other hand, for the women, we have seen that 35% reservation for women of Bihar has been announced for all government jobs in all the categories. So these are few of the measures that have been taken by Nitish Kumar to reach out to the poor section of the society, especially those who cannot afford to pay electricity bills, high electricity bills, and also to the women voters of Bihar. Because remember, in the last 10-15 years, women have voted extensively and aggressively for Nitish Kumar. So that is why, keeping that in mind, this reservation of 35% was also announced a few days back. And today, free electricity up to 125 units have been announced for almost 1 crore and 67 lakh families of Bihar.
All right, do stay on, Rohit, as we have one more response coming in. This is from Samrat Chaudhary, Bihar's Deputy Chief Minister, who said out at Tejashwi Yadav over the comment he's made after distributing free electricity, where he's gone on to say, look, ask him not to act like a child. The elections haven't been announced yet. Listen into that statement.
ये बचवा की बात मत की, इसलिए मैंने कहा कि चुनाव की घोषणा बिहार में नहीं, महागठबंधन के लोग अभी घोषणा पत्र बना ही रहे। अब बचवा को हड़बड़ी थी तो हम क्या कर सकते। अब देखिए, जिस पार्टी में 5.5वें नंबर पर कोई व्यक्ति हो, उसका क्या होना है।
And we got across to more breaking news coming in. DK Shivkumar has now taunted Nitish Kumar over the 4 freebies that he's announced. DK Shivkumar has said that the Congress has set an example. Nitish is following the Karnataka model, is what DK Shivkumar has said on Nitish Kumar announcing those freebies. Listen it.
In the entire country, Congress party has stood for the welfare of the country. After the independence till today, whenever the Congress party is in power, either in the central or the state government, it has given various schemes. Now also from Karnataka, we started these 5 guarantees. And again, to come to power, they also used in Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Delhi and other parts of the country. So Congress party has set an example we do for the development of the people. So whatever Congress party has been given in Karnataka, the entire country is following. It is a Karnataka model to the country.
Moving on, over a month after the tragic AI-171 crash that claimed more than 270 lives, new leaks that have sparked massive outrage. A Wall Street Journal report that claims a cockpit conversation questioned a critical fuel switch move moments before the fatal takeoff, but Indian aviation experts who have dismissed these claims, pointing to a prior stabilizer sensor glitch. Getting you more details in this report.
June 12th, flight Air India 171. A routine journey becomes one of India's worst aviation tragedies. Just 32 seconds after takeoff, the Boeing 787 Dreamliner plunged to the ground near Ahmedabad airport, killing 241 of the 242 people on board. The preliminary accident report, released by the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, AAIB, offered few answers. But what it did reveal only deepened the mystery. Fuel supply to both engines were cut off just 3 seconds into the flight, and a puzzling conversation between the pilots. Now, chilling details are emerging from inside the cockpit. A Wall Street Journal report, citing sources in the United States with access to the black box, claims to fill in some of the blanks left by the AAIB report. The Wall Street Journal article claims it was Captain Sumit Sabharwal who moved the fuel cutoff switches. According to the report, First Officer Clive Kunder was surprised and then panicked. Captain Sabharwal, meanwhile, appeared calm. The journal adds that Kunder, as the pilot actively flying the aircraft, would have had his hands full on the controls, while Captain Sabharwal, as the pilot monitoring, would likely have had his hands free. The AAIB report had noted a tense exchange in the cockpit. One pilot questioned the other about switching off the fuel supply to cut off. The second pilot, unnamed in the official report, denied making the switch. Experts say the switches were moved in deliberate succession, just 1 second apart, a move described as highly unusual, with no clear justification during a standard takeoff.
I would like to condemn, firstly, such reports which are directly bearing an effect on the pilots' fraternity without any evidence whatsoever. The preliminary report nowhere states that the pilots have moved the fuel control switches, and this has been corroborated by the CVR recording.
मुझे लगता है कि उन्होंने जो रिपोर्ट दिया है उसमें सभी ये प्राइमरी बेस पे है। उन्होंने ये भी कहा है उसमें कि ये अंतिम रिपोर्ट नहीं है, इसलिए हम किसी निष्कर्ष पे आना उचित नहीं होगा। ये अंतिम रिपोर्ट जब आएगा तब सब सामने आएगा कि एक्चुअली उसमें क्या रीजन था, क्या कारण था।
Meanwhile, another angle is under investigation. A report by the Indian Express says technical issues were flagged by the crew during the aircraft's previous flight. The AAIB report confirms the crew had entered a pilot defect report in the aircraft's technical log. The report issue: a stabilizer position transducer defect, a fault in the sensor that helps control the aircraft's nose movement. Troubleshooting was conducted as per standard procedure and the aircraft was cleared for service. The Indian Express report goes further. It reveals that the engine indication and crew alerting system had displayed warnings in the days leading up to the crash. In fact, the same aircraft experienced an electrical failure in December 2024, causing a flight cancellation. The report says investigators are now probing whether these incidents point to a larger sensor failure or system malfunction. With questions mounting, Indian and US investigators are now examining three critical possibilities. Was it human error, a deliberate act, or a technical failure that caused the switches to move without pilot command? Bureau Report, Business Today TV.
And while all these details are being looked into, let's take you through information on what had happened on the flight AI-171 on the previous sector that moved from Delhi to Ahmedabad. Now, that report that was flagged on the stabilizer sensor transducer. But what is this sensor transducer and what does it do? The sensor basically communicates with the flight control system. So it is responsible for sending and transmitting data to the flight control system. Why it is important? Because the center is the tool that is responsible for controlling up and down movement of the nose of the plane, and the data that it transmits to the control system is what helps pilots draw their inputs from. So it ensures accuracy. That is the job of the sensor transducer. Now, any sort of malfunction may trigger fuel control anomaly. So remember, this is a very important aspect that is also being looked into as a part of the larger probe that continues. Let me cut across to Amit Bhardwaj joining us live from Delhi with further details of what had happened on the previous flight from Delhi to Ahmedabad, this particular report that was flagged, and then the maintenance engineer who had created troubleshoot and then given it a clearance. Why has that made it to the preliminary report?
Well, Suyesha, all angles in regards to AI-171, that is the Boeing Dreamliner craft, is being taken into account by the investigators at this point in time. And this would include the log sheets of the craft as well, which means that, on the day when the flight was taking off from Ahmedabad, every log sheet, every book, engine report that has been given, which is an automated system report as well generated by the craft, all of that is being looked into. Along with that, the original equipment manufacturers have been also roped in to check as to whether their technical aspects of each of these components of Air India was in right place or not. And in this particular process, the old documents of the craft is also being taken into account, because these are voluntary compliance declarances which are being which is usually done by the flight operators, and in this case Air India must have already done those declarations from their side as well. So each of these angles are being looked into as to whether there were any sort of compliance issue, whether a particular fuel control switch or sensor stabilizer had malfunctioned in the past as well, and what corrective measures were taken into account after that. And if at all there would be any sort of compliance violation, that will be also taken into account by the investigators, because in the past few days, but rather in the weeks after the AI-171 crash, what we saw was DGCA was actually conducting surprise checks as well at airports in relation with the operators, as well as Air India's own voluntary declarations were being looked into by the Civil Aviation Authority in the country in order to check as to whether, there have been some violations. So what we are looking at is a part of that process itself. But I could certainly say that the investigation will continue on three angles. Number one, whether there was technical glitch with the Boeing Dreamliner itself. Number two, the manual angle that's being focused upon a lot by the Western media as to whether it was the pilots who were at the fault. Number third, whether the fuel control switches malfunction on transition that happened was because of malfunctioning of some other equipment, some other component of the Air India craft. Back to you.
All right, Amit, many thanks for getting us those details. On that note, it's time for us to slip into a very short commercial break. On the other side, we get you details of the Maharashtra Thug Netas who have struck again. This time around, MNS goons who beat up a Marwadi trader, assaulted for traders' anti-Marathi post.
Moto G96 5G. All eyes on you.
How has he seen it all?
Gotta head on spin, never blending, dripping in, like so clean.
Moto G96 5G.
All eyes on you.
Hello, Moto.
Moto G96 5G. All eyes on you.
Hi, here are the top headlines presented by Motorola. ED raids 15 Bengaluru locations in cooperative society scam. Firing at Patna hospital as rival gang targets, murder accused during treatment. Heavy rain halts Amarnath Yatra. Landslide hits Baltal 1 dead.
For over 30 years, be it in a studio or on the ground, I've been a newsman with one permanent ally, a mic.
कोई fulfill नहीं किया.
Sometimes over chai, sometimes in the middle of a protest.
1,25,000 is a loan that results in a farmer committing suicide in this country.
Firstly, sometimes outside a broken home. I'm not here to be the hero of the story. I'm just here to hear it and to tell it like it is, without fear or favor. Join me, Rajdeep Sardesai, on the news today, weekdays at 9 p.m. only on India Today.
you for staying with India Today. And well, another day, another Neta. Backed goon strikes in Maharashtra that have been reported. Hooliganism that is on the rise, and more often than not, it's the Netas themselves who are leading the charge. A blatant abuse of power, unchecked and repeated. The latest shocker that has come in from Mumbai's Vikhroli, where MNS goons thrashed a Marwadi trader, and that too in broad daylight. Prem Singh Devra, a young man working at Lucky Medical Shop in Tagore Nagar Market, who was allegedly assaulted by MNS workers over a social media post they claimed insulted Marathi and Maharashtra. The group, led by MNS leader Vishwajit Dholam, dragged Devra out of his shop and marched him to the police station, where he was reportedly forced to issue a public apology. There are no longer isolated events. There's a clear pattern that is emerging, fueled by rising language tensions. Politically backed individuals who are now openly attacking citizens, emboldened by the belief that they are above the law. And the response from those in power? Silence. Leaders within the ruling alliance continue to play the blame game, but on the ground, no real action that is being taken against these political offenders.
ऍक्टिंग करू नकोस चल बोल सर्वांना जय महाराष्ट्र. हा एक मारवाडी आहे, इकडे हे दुकान आहे याचं. लक्षात आलं काय? त्यांनी स्टेटस टाकला होता की मराठी माणसाला आम्ही पेलतो, मारवाडी लोक पेलतो म्हणून. महाराष्ट्रामध्ये राहून याचं काय करायचं आम्ही केलंय. इथे सांग, इथे बोल, इथे बोल. भान पकडायचं सांगायचं. आणि तुम्हाला सगळ्यांना जाहीर सांगतो, इकडे सगळ्या लोकांना, अशी जी लोक आहेत ना ह्यांच्या दुकानातून घ्यायचं बंद करा. इकडे येऊन कमवत आहेत, इथे बाहेरच्या देशातून, बाहेरच्या जिल्ह्यातून येऊन इकडे कमवतात, महाराष्ट्रामध्ये कमवतात आणि महाराष्ट्रामध्ये सांगतात काय तर मराठी माणसाला पेलतो आम्ही.
जो चीज उन्होंने की थी वो उसको दिखाई गई थी और दिखाने के बाद उनसे बात हुई थी तो उन्होंने माफी मांगी थी और आते आते डर के वो गिर गया था वहाँ, तो उसको उठाया था, बस बाकी कुछ हो गया नहीं था. इस स्टेटस में ना 3000 के ऊपर लाइक्स है और 1700 से ज्यादा उसमें शेयरिंग है. इसका मतलब क्या है मालूम है आपको? मराठी के बारे में, महाराष्ट्र के बारे में आपके मन में कड़वाहट है, वो तुरंत आप जाहिर करते हैं. तो मारपीट अवॉइड की, आपको वीडियो में दिखा रहेगा. समझ दिए और आए. हम लोग की समझ देने के अलग अलग से तरीके रहते हैं, वो अलग अलग तरीके से समझ दे के उसको हम लोग पुलिस के हवाले चल दे के आए.
Once again, MNS party workers showed their aggression on the topic of Marathi and Marathi Manus. A video came to the light where MNS party workers are forcing to a man to apologize. They claim in that video that the man who was apologizing posted on his WhatsApp status and used some harsh language against Marathi Manus. Right now we are outside that shop where that person is working. Right now this shop is closed, and the person who was apologized and who used that status and used that abusive language went to his native place in Rajasthan with his family. But we have to see that till when in Maharashtra this Marathi Manus or Marathi issue will be in picture or will be in mainstream line. With camera person Ashish, this is Dipesh Tripathi for India Today, Mumbai.
Moving on, just a few months ago, India displayed its military prowess, and the weapon that decimated Pakistan was made in India. The Brahmos missile. Operation Sindoor marked the combat debut of the Brahmos missile, delivering a devastating blow to Pakistan's terror and military infrastructure, establishing its battlefield credibility. Following the successful use of Brahmos in real combat, over 14 countries who have shown strong interest in acquiring the missile system. In response to this surge in global demand, a new Brahmos production facility that was inaugurated in Lucknow as part of the UP Defence Industrial Corridor. Till now, 5 countries, USA, France, UK, Russia, China, had the capability to produce such high-grade titanium components. With this, India becomes the 6th, a major step towards strategic independence. And well, in a major boost for India's defense capabilities, Operation Sindoor that showcased the power of indigenous weapons, particularly the Brahmos missile. And in this significant development, last month we saw the inauguration of the Strategic Material Technology Complex, housing 4 factories all aligned with the Brahmos missile manufacturing facility in Lucknow. Take a look at this exclusive report by my colleague Shivani Sharma.
When we see the weapon systems, missile systems including Brahmos and the fighter jets, we also should know how they are made, and this is a particular area in this PTC factory where this alloy is melted and made into the desired form. This is the furnace head where in high temperatures these super metals are melted and made into the desired shapes depending upon the needs and the platforms they are contributing to. To tell us more about it, I have with me Mr. Karunakar Srivastav, who's the manager and who deals with this furnace area. Please tell us something about the process. How do you make that super alloy which is required for Brahmos and other weapon systems?
So this is a very special manufacturing, and this is manufacturing for titanium and super alloy. So we have three ways of manufacturing of titanium. One is from VAR furnace we have of 12 ton capacity. Then we have a EBCHR furnace of around 5,500 metric ton per annum capacity. And then we have one more furnace which is called plasma arc remelting method. So in that three method of manufacturing, we manufacture the titanium alloy. There we have a different type of element. We mix it together. We have a furnace standing here. There we are doing the melting, one melt, double melt, and then this particular raw material is being manufactured. After this manufacturing, there is a further processes which is forging, rolling to make the different kind, shape and size what is being required. And that is being used in the different missile application.
As India moves ahead in its pursuit of Atmanirbhar Bharat, we are right now in Lucknow in one of the facilities that is contributing to the Brahmos project. India's very own supersonic Brahmos missile is getting alloys from this factory where I'm reporting from in Lucknow. This is PTC Industries, the only company in the country which is making alloys, titanium alloys and super alloys from Brahmos missile systems that were inaugurated right after Operation Sindoor. And you can see how this industry has already started working in an area of 50 acres of land. And this happens to be one of the nodal agencies of the defense corridors in Uttar Pradesh. And PTC Industries is the only industry in the country to have this capability of building these super alloys that are contributing to the Brahmos missile system. If I talk about the Uttar Pradesh Defence Industrial Corridor, 7 companies have already started to work, yours being one of them. So how fast is the work going, and what do you think that in the coming years Uttar Pradesh will look like in terms of defence production?
Uttar Pradesh government is extremely ambitious as well as very promising in its and the kind of incentives and the policies that they have come out with, especially related to defense and aerospace manufacturing, is very encouraging. The ambitions is to really create a big defense and aerospace manufacturing ecosystem within the state. Of course, to create a huge number of jobs, but also to contribute towards the self-reliance in defense and aerospace within the country from the state. I see that with the pace with which the government is moving and the kind of investments in infrastructure it is making and the kind of policies it is coming up with, there is a lot that will happen within the state in this area.
So one last question. This facility is not only making for India, but you are also exporting and working on that. So what all countries are you thinking or are showing interest in the kind of alloys you are producing?
Yes. So as you said, this is not just for make in India. This is make in India, make for the world. We are already having agreements, long-term agreements, MOUs, purchase orders for exports to many big primes, aerospace engine manufacturers like Safran, like BE Systems, Honeywell Aerospace, IAI in Israel. Lot of these foreign OEMs, Dassault Aviation for Rafale, so parts are actually going to go on to Rafale as well, titanium parts, LEAP engine parts, commercial aviation as well. So all this is also being driven to a large extent by the entire demand that is getting generated in civilian aerospace, commercial aviation sector, as well as the defense spend increase worldwide. And where the biggest requirement is coming with no defense and aerospace and civil aerospace platform can be created without these critical and strategic materials like titanium and superalloys.
With that, it's time for us to slip into a very short commercial break. On the other side, we get you that exclusive interview with superstar Salman Khan, who's spoken to India today, from his love for bikes to his upcoming films. Stay tuned.